I'm now going to make our dessert. It's a chocolate mousse. It's a no-cook dessert. It's a no-fuss dessert. And so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need some chocolate. You're going to need some unsweetened chocolate. You're going to need some semi-sweet chocolate, some whipped cream, a little cognac, a little honey. I actually like to add a little bit of orange rind to this. And in the end, a little bit of chocolate shavings on the top. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to melt your chocolate. So here we are with the chocolate. I put this in a double boiler. So what you want to do is you want to melt the chocolate in a double boiler and then pour a quarter cup of honey into the chocolate and mix it up. And then to that we're going to add some coffee and some cognac. So now we're going to take the chocolate back over to the counter. That's 3 ounces of semi-sweet, 1 ounce of non-sweet. And to that we're going to pour in, I'm going to eyeball this, I'd say about a nice tablespoon of Grand Marnier. And then over here I brewed up a little bit of really nice strong coffee. So we're going to do, again, I'm going to eyeball this, but this is going to be about a teaspoon and a half. Okay, so now that the chocolate mixture has cooled down for about 5 minutes or 6 minutes, I'm still going to zest a little bit of orange rind in there, which will give it a nice little punchy citrusy taste. So I'm going to zest probably about half of an orange here. Drop that in there. Give that another nice little stir. And now the last step to this lovely, delicious dessert is going to be the whipped cream, which we're going to whip up. I've got a cup of whipped cream. I'm going to add a little vanilla, and then we're going to combine the whole thing together and put it in some beautiful little glass bowls and chill. And then we'll move on to the main course today. Now we've got a cup of whipped cream that I'm going to pour into this bowl. And again, I'm going to eyeball it, but probably about a teaspoon of sugar. And you want some really good vanilla. And this is yummy stuff. So we're going to put just a little drop of vanilla in there. And then we're going to whip it up until it's nice and thick, but still soft. And so here's what it should look like when it's all done. Sort of this nice, soft, peaky consistent. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove just a little bit of whipped cream to top the chocolate mousse after I mix everything else together. And then we're going to mix the chocolate in to the whipped cream. And then very nicely and gently you want to fold that. Okay, so again we have very gently folded the whipped cream with the chocolate mixture. And now we're going to spoon them into these beautiful little dessert cups that I've got here. And I'll go ahead and just grab this spoon. I don't think it'll really matter that much. And so let's just pour it in like this. And then we'll just top this with a little bit of whipped cream. And then at the very end, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of shaved chocolate on there, like so. And there you go. So in the refrigerator for 3 hours, and I'll be back shortly in something much more appropriate for my main course. But since I had to get these in early, that's why you're seeing me the way I am, so pardon, do forgive. And I'll see you in a little while, darlings. Bye-bye. Okay, so now we're ready to do our main course for the dinner this evening. And we're going to start with the chicken, so I'm going to go get that. We're going to season that up. Now what I have here are 3 organic chicken breasts, and it came with bones. Very inexpensive way to do this. Just cut the bones off, you've got the breast meat, and then you've got bones for really, really nice chicken stock, which you can use for other things, which actually I use to make our quinoa, which we're going to have as a side dish this evening. So let's get started with the chicken breasts. The first thing we're going to do is pound you want to pound the thicker ends just to even up the thickness a little. And this is what you want it to look like. As you can see, they're a little bit more even. So now, seasoning. You can season this with whatever you want. I happen to like a little bit of herbe de Provence that we're going to put on here. Very nice. And I also have a little bit of tarragon, which is also a very nice herb for chicken. And this also is really nice. It's really nice on fish. It's nice on just about everything. This is Old Bay spices. So we're going to put some of that also. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to cut up the bok choy here, which I've been doing. Okay, so now we're going on to the next step of making the side dish, the quinoa, which is really also very healthy for you. Another good thing is barley and rice, which I make a lot. And what I love to do is I like to actually add a few things to it to perk it up, because a lot of people don't like just plain rice or plain barley or plain anything. So this is going to give it a nice flavor. So what we're going to do is I have a bunch of parsley. This is all depending on how much you want as well. There's no real set amount. So I've got a nice little bunch of washed parsley, Italian parsley. Then I have some nice top sprigs with the leaves of celery, which I'm just going to cut up enough to get in there. And then we have a red bell pepper, and we'll just cut this up a little bit here. And throw that in there. And then we'll just kind of salt it. You don't want it too fine. And that's perfect. So now we are going to start with frying the chicken. So I'll get that out. And then we'll really kind of put all of this stuff together pretty quickly here. Also, the vegetable that I have this evening is bok choy, which is all chopped and freshly washed, and also ready to go. That's very easy to do. That's just going to be a quick little stir with some olive oil. So now we're going to finally bring all this shit together. We're going to do the chicken. I'm going to go over here first and get some butter melted. We're probably going to use about 2 tablespoons of butter. So now we're going to flour the chicken, and it's just, we just want to dust the chicken. It's just enough to help give it a little bit of a crust. And then dust it off a little bit. Just like a baby's bottom when you dust a little baby's butt. So now we have our butter going pretty well there. You can almost hear it sizzling. And we will put in, season side down first in the pan. I think the temperature is good. You want this at about medium heat. You don't want it too high. If in doubt, turn it down a little bit, but definitely I'd say around medium heat. 4 minutes on one side. We'll flip them over, 4 minutes on the other side. And that's the secret to keeping these chicken breasts really nice and moist. So now let's get the other stuff going. Okay, so now we're going to do the quinoa. And first we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to our pan. And turn that little puppy on. Also at about medium heat, you don't want this too high. And the first thing I like to do is put in all of our chopped up parsley and celery and red pepper and so on. Actually, when you do something like this, you can almost put anything in it you want, whether it's, you know, quinoa or barley and rice or just rice. And let's see, so, and then I think we will also go right ahead and start, excuse-moi. So we're going to go and now also heat up our bok choy. Okay, so now our, what I like to call my little herbal mixture here of fresh things. You can also put herbs and other things in this too. That is starting to heat up very nicely. So now we're going to put our quinoa in there and stir that around. Now if you notice, our chicken over here is looking really good, and you can see that the sides are already looking pretty cooked kind of around here. So I'll just grab another fork here and we're going to turn these over. Now we'll put in our bok choy. So now we're going to put a little salt and pepper in the bok choy. I kind of prefer to leave that pretty much simple, although sometimes a few little pepper flakes are kind of nice in that too. But I'm telling you, if you go online and check this stuff out, you will be surprised how healthy this stuff is. And you don't want your bok choy too overdone, so you want a little bit crunchy. So we're going to turn that one off as well. And I think the chicken is just about done, so I've turned off the flame. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just let that sort of cool down in the pan, and I think we'll be ready to plate up. Okay, so I think our chicken is actually done. I'm going to take those out and just put them on this plate here for a moment. And one little last thing I want to show you real quick how to make a really super nice little gravy. Generally I would have a homemade chicken stock, but if you don't have any, just get a really good one. So I'm going to pour in a little bit of chicken stock into the pan and get that going real good. Whisk that around a little bit, and with just a little flour, you'd be amazed how really nicely you can make the gravy. If it gets a little thick, just add a little more stock. And I think that's good. So now we'll plate up our meal. And there you have it. Lotte fried chicken, bok choy, quinoa, and a lovely dessert of chocolate mousse. So I hope you had a good time watching. I had a great time cooking. It's not perfect, but who is, you know? So hope to see you next time. Thank you.